Welcome to the third video in our series. Today, we're going to talk about slightly more complex tree building. In this video lesson, we're going to see an example of having one sentence embedded into another sentence. An example of this is, Bill thinks that the child kicked the dog. In this construction, we actually have two sub-sentences, with one being embedded inside the other. The first sentence part is, Bill thinks. And the second sentence part is, the child kicked the dog. Notice that these two pieces are connected by the word that. In syntax, words that connect sentences in this way are called complementizers. And as we have seen in class, they go into the C position in the tree. Let's take a look now and see how this works. Okay, so let's start building this tree. The first thing that we have here is our sentence, Bill thinks that the child kicked the dog. And as before, the first thing that we want to do is we want to separate out the tense element from the verb phrase, right? Remember, the tense element goes in I. So the very first thing I'm going to do is that. And we end up with Bill pres think. And if we recall, that pres plus think is pronounced as thinks, so we get Bill thinks. And the same thing with the child past kick ends up being pronounced as the child kicked. All right, so this first thing that we want to do, again, as before, is we want to put our categories on top of all of the individual words. And that is, in fact, what we have here. The only thing that's different in this sentence than in something that we had seen previously is you'll notice over here the word that, and words like that, which are called complementizers, go into C. All right, now that we have our categories, again, we're going to do the same thing as in previous trees. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build our NPs first. So I'm going to do that right now and put in our NPs. Now, the one thing I do want you to notice is on the left-hand side, we have Bill, and I don't seem to have any kind of a determiner because we had said that NPs are a D plus an M. In reality, Bill should have a null determiner. I'm just cheating a little bit right now to save some space on the screen. So in reality, Bill is really a null determiner plus an M. But anyway, we have our noun phrases here. We have the three noun phrases, Bill, we have the child, and we have the dog. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start building up verb phrases. But as I said earlier, we want to start from the right and work our way toward the left. So the verb that we have on the right is kick, and we end up with this verb phrase over here, kick the dog. Okay, continuing to work our way from right to left, we're going to merge in our I element, which is our past marker. So I plus a VP becomes I bar. Next, continuing, we're going to merge in the subject of the lower sentence, which is the child. This goes into the specifier of IP, so I need to create that structure, and here we have that. We have an IP. An IP is created with an NP and an I bar, and the NP is in what we call the specifier of the IP, right? Okay. And now the thing that we need to merge into our tree structure is the complementizer. Well, a complementizer is a C, and create this structure is we have a C and an IP becomes a C bar. Now, once again, we need to create structure above this. The structure that we have to create on top of this is going to be a CP. Now, once again, you're going to notice that this space is in fact actually empty. The element that's in the specifier of the CP is actually empty. That's okay for now. That will at some point be filled in a different kind of a tree, but not in this tree. Okay, so now that we have our lower sentence, we're going to start merging in the upper sentence, or the main sentence. It's also called a matrix sentence. And here we have a V, which can subcategorize for a CP also, and we end up with this VP over here. The next element that we're going to merge in, just like in the lower sentence, is going to be our I, and an I plus a VP, as before, becomes an I bar. And the only thing left to do right here then is we need to merge in the subject of the main sentence, which is Bill. Now, unfortunately, I've run out of room, so through the magic of television, I'm going to lower this down on the screen just a little bit, and that's where we have that. And now I have a little bit more room on top, and what I'm going to do is, just like in the lower sentence, I'm going to merge in the subject NP into the specifier of IP and end up with that. So right now what we have is our complete sentence, and I just want to go over the parts again with you. We actually have a sentence within a sentence. Okay, we have an embedded sentence within the main sentence, and just to recap, our main sentence is Bill thinks, and our embedded sentence is the child kicked the dog. And the way that we connect two sentences, one embedded inside of another, is with a complementizer, and that's exactly what we have here with the word that. The end result is we have Bill thinks that the child kicked the dog, and this is a tree structure for an embedded sentence.